Hello, so this is a lap guide for the Nürburgring Nordschleife, also nicknamed the Green Hell, if you've never heard of it. It's a very difficult track, maybe one of the most difficult tracks, because it's very, very tight, very windy, and deceptive in a lot of places. This is just going to be a quick lap guide going through a lot of the turns on the track, so let's get started. Starting with the last turn of the lap before, obviously, the exit is the most important part of that. Make sure you're braking in a straight line, everything fun. Get your braking point for turn 1 correct. That one's one of the many really deceptive corners, turn 1. It seems to slope outward a bit more. Lift here at the bottom of the hill with most cars. Gets a bit, sketchy there. Make sure you're braking, obviously, in the right spots. This first section is really dependent on a lot of basics, so make sure you're braking in a straight line, staying off the curbs, smooth transitions from brake to gas, and vice versa. And obviously, being steady on the accelerator and not losing traction with your rear tires. This first section here, down, and back uphill is flat, but the right-hander at the top, a lot of cars, not all obviously, do need to lift. I did, just to be safe. Moving along here, this is all flat, pretty easily actually. It's not really a big deal. Sometimes you'll get a little jump depending on how fast your car is. Right there, this long sweeping left, a lot of cars have to brake. That really depends on downforce. Here you have a really, really long turn. It's another one of those massively deceptive ones because it doesn't really open up as the turn goes on, so you really have to maintain speed throughout the turn. Get on the gas, nice, stay off the curbs. Down the hill, obviously, picking up a lot of speed. One of the fastest sections there. Brake enough to make it around the first turn, and then brake a lot here on the second bit. Slow down enough here, go nice wide so you can get a good entry into that left-hander, and then go nice on the right-hander. Stay off the curb, obviously. I didn't do that, and that gave me a pretty poor exit there. This part, just gun it as much as you can. Try and carry as much speed through this upcoming left-hander right here. And make sure you get your braking point right, because now we're getting into a more tricky section. Here, those are just two relatively easy corners. Make sure you absolutely need to brake here. This is a pretty sharp hairpin, so you gotta make sure you get enough rotation to make it around there. Walls are pretty close. Make sure you get through that cleanly. Getting on curbs there is absolutely going to ruin your lap and send you straight into the wall. Pretty long sweeping corner here, nothing too complicated to worry about. Braking nice and early for this. It'll dive, it'll disappear, drop off to the left there, so you'll get a lot of understeer, and then it'll all come back at once. So you do have to be ready for it to come back, get a good exit. Here make sure you really stay off that exit curb. It looks so tempting, but it's a lot higher than it looks. This uphill, make sure you're very careful on the gas there, because it's pretty easy to lose the rear end. From here on, it's flat for a bit. You're going to be heading... There's a left-hander up there, and then this long sweeping right-hander. Nothing too complicated. You just gotta make sure that you're maintaining and carrying enough speed as you can. Up this area is mostly all flat. There's some areas where you're gonna lift further towards the end, but for now, it should all be flat. It's not anything impossibly hard through this section. It's just keep it pinned, minimal steering inputs, try and carry as much speed as you can. Coming up to this part, this second left kink, I lifted just in case. With some cars, obviously you're going to be able to go flat, but I even ran quite a bit wide on that. This right-hander, also want to be careful. Lift, brake, whatever you need to make it around that safely. Here we have a nice long sweeping hairpin, and then we head up to the carousel, which was difficult in this car. I actually ended up bottoming out. It wasn't too pleasant, so if your car bottoms out, as you can see, I'm definitely struggling. It's obviously smarter to take the outer line so that you can, maintain control of your car and get through the turn quickly and safely. Up the hill, carry a lot of speed through this left-hander, and then you have another one of those million S's around this track. Make sure you get your braking point right, not like I did. Be ready for this sweeping right-hander, and then a complex of more tricky corners coming up here. Nice long right, but it gets tighter and gets even tighter to the right. Make sure you stay off that curb. Definitely lost a lot of control of the car there. Here I had the sun in my eyes. I'm gonna have to apologize for that. Took a little excursion off track. Downhill, make sure you get your braking point right here. You can drift nice and wide. There's plenty of exit curb there. This is one of your YouTube corners and plenty of spectators. Make sure you're careful on the gas there. This is pretty easy to lose your rear end, and you don't want to end up in the gravel trap. Here, make sure you get your line right. I was a bit off. Didn't really hit the apex. So, not completely ideal. Stay nice and wide for this. Here, big jump coming up. Not really that pleasant. You can lose control really easily there. Keep it pinned as much as you can. Get on the brake nicely. Try and get through that safe. Keep on going. You're trying to get down the hill here and through this section. It's mostly flat. I might have to lift in some cars, but pretty safe here. Again, just blatantly forgetting that I have to slow down in this car, because of course I did. So drift nice and wide. Here's the second carousel, so I'm already really close to the end of the lap. Gonna take the run up the hill to the final corner before the straight. Pretty much just a long sweeping corner. You can keep it flat out for most of the turn, and there's only you should be able to realize if you're gonna drift wide or not. The straight is pretty straightforward, if you get what I mean. That was not funny. But it's a bit bumpy actually, so gotta be careful with that. Flat out as long as you can. And once you near the end of the straight, you're gonna have your left hand kink that heads downhill right afterward as well. Pretty much just be ready for it. It's not a hard turn or anything crazy like that. Up the hill, you should be able to keep it pinned here, depending on what car you have, and get your braking point right for the second S. Take it nice and slow, go on the gas carefully. Tires will cool down along the straight. Get your final corner right, and I mean, ideally you don't do a celebratory spin, but that's what I went for. But of course you can go for another lap. Alright, that's it for our quick guided lap. It's not anything too special. Next, please enjoy the same lap, but from TV camera's perspective, because I think it looks nice. That's about it for me. Have a nice day.